We're about to see a big change in the world of XRP that might change everything. A lot of people are talking about the idea of burning all the XRP that is now in escrow. The current burn rate is about 5,000 XRP per day, or about 1.825 million XRP per year. However, there is growing conjecture that this rate is going up. Some people are even saying that 25,000 XRP are being burnt every day. And interestingly, people say that this conduct has something to do with Ripple's escrow accounts. A former Ripple director's comments make things much more dramatic, as they suggest that Ripple might do a one-time huge burn of all the XRP in escrow. It seems that this is more than just a guess that it will happen. The timing of this situation makes it even more interesting because it happens at the same time as Ripple Labs is announcing a buyback of almost $1 billion worth of XRP from its circulating supply. A lot of people think that Ripple's buyback and possible escrow burn are connected to its settlement with the SEC, and that Ripple still needs XRP, which is why it bought it back. There are huge consequences for an escrow burn like this. If Ripple burnt all of its XRP, the price of XRP could go up to $10,000 per coin. Based on my research and the fact that Ripple Labs is developing more and more partnerships and needs XRP to sustain these relationships, I think that Ripple Labs may need to raise the price of XRP to $10,000 to keep going and growing. Many stories have said the same thing, saying that XRP will reach $10,000 because of Ripple's partnerships for cross-border payments. It's not only possible that XRP's value will go up a lot, it may perhaps be necessary because Ripple's global alliances are growing and they depend on XRP. XRP's rise has been nothing short of exponential, and both private and public reports show that it is growing over the world. A leaked study from BlackRock has shown that they want to use XRP for payments across countries. This article highlights the main points, which show how XRP is becoming a global cross-border payment service. The Central Bank of Ireland's recent statement that they will use XRP for cross-border transactions has added to this trend. This action shows that XRP is a reliable and quick way to pay, but it also means that Ripple, the business that makes XRP, is now officially recognized as a registered virtual asset service provider. This is a strong hint that XRP has a lot of promise in the financial industry. At the same time, the Global Central Bank of Japan has started using XRP for their global payment solutions. This is part of a bigger trend. More than 30 central banks are currently working together to establish a central bank digital currency on the XRP ledger. Reports say that 19 of these central banks have bought more than $9.4 billion worth of XRP. This number doesn't even include the possibility that the FedNow instant payment service will start using XRP. According to leaked material, the FedNow instant payment platform is thinking about adopting XRP to handle the blockchain part of its payment system. This news shows that more and more people trust XRP's technology and think it can be used in modern financial applications. It is very important that the United States Federal Reserve wants to acquire full control of XRP and Ripple Labs. This action, which is meant to stop people from buying XRP in stores, is a big change in the financial world. The Federal Reserve's plan is to use the Ripplet system's efficiency, low cost, and eco-friendliness to develop a traditional central bank digital currency. The Ripplet system uses the XRP ledger and digital asset instead. This method is very important right now because major central banks in more than 8 countries, including the BRICS countries, are following it. Have already worked with Ripple Labs to use the RippleNet infrastructure and the XRP ledger. To show how interested the Federal Reserve is in blockchain technology. They have said in public that XRP and XLM might be important parts of the blockchain part of their FedNow payment system. One of their stories says that the FedNow services partnership with Metal Blockchain to make it easier to convert fiat and stable coins quickly is a big step toward bringing traditional banking and decentralized finance together. At this time, people in the US can only make quick payments inside the country using third-party apps like Venmo and PayPal or digital wallets for cryptocurrencies. The FedNow system is still being worked on, but it wants to include cryptocurrencies in its framework. More than 120 businesses have joined this platform, including newer ones like US Bank and Exchange Bank, as well as a number of payment processors and solution providers. The possible addition of Ripple to the FedNow service could lead to a big change in the world of digital banking. Ripple is one of the fintech businesses being looked at for this project. It is known for its innovative cross-border payment solutions and open-source distributed ledger technology. Stellar Loop, or XLM, is also on the list of possible partners for the FedNow service. It is known for its blockchain-based payment network that makes worldwide transactions faster and cheaper. So this gets us back to the 2 main points we were talking about. First, how likely it is that XRP will reach a price of $10,000 soon. And second, the possibility of Ripple Labs escrow burning a lot of XRP. You know, these two things are extremely connected and might be a big deal for the XRP digital asset. The expected mass burning of XRP from Ripple's escrow could be what pushes XRP to that $10,000 price mark. Matt Hamilton, a former director at Ripple, said that Ripple could burn all the XRP in its escrow wallet, which has made this anticipation even stronger. This news is very important, especially since Ripple is still fighting the SEC in court. It even hints that such a burn could be part of a possible settlement agreement. This has a lot of effects. A huge burn in XRP supply might raise its price to $10,000 or more. This would also create an unparalleled demand for XRP from both retail and institutional investors, who are increasingly wanting to use digital assets like XRP for cross-border payments. Because of this, XRP's available supply would drop significantly, which would mean that each XRP token would have to be worth more. The number of transactions that XRP will have to process is, to put it mildly, mind-boggling. There are more than $1.20 quadrillion in transactions within the ISDA, or the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. Because of the huge volume and value of these transactions, the price of XRP needs to be $10,000. This article sums up the size perfectly by making it obvious that XRP's goal is to make transactions in the ISDA worth more than $1.20 quadrillion. And that's only one aspect of the problem. This number doesn't even include other important people and systems where XRP is projected to have an effect. It doesn't include the possibility that SWIFT may use XRP for payments, SBI's aspirations to spread XRP remittances across Southeast Asia, or the fact that financial titans like BlackRock and JP Morgan are said to have started buying over 7.5 million XRP. This figure also doesn't take into account Ripple's collaborations, including the one with the payment giant to make digital asset transactions better and allow cross-border payments in Africa. It's clear that XRP needs to be worth even more when we think about the quadrillions that central banks and countries will add to it, along with the trillions that the private financial sector will put to it. We could be looking at a price range of $50,000 to $75,000 per XRP currency. This may sound crazy, but it's true that XRP is about to make it possible to move huge amounts of money around the world. XRP might be trading at 62 right now, but when I initially bought it, I was confident of its future because of the technology and how well it could handle large amounts of money. This potential is what makes XRP worth so much more in the future than it is now. Please keep in mind that I am not a licensed financial counselor. The videos are only meant to be fun. I usually tell them to do their own research and talk to experts before making any financial decisions. Thanks a lot for watching. Please, give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you liked it. Also, switch on notifications so you may be the first to know when I post new stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Be safe.